For over a century, Germany was the industrial heartbeat of Europe, the country that built the cars the world wanted to drive, the factories that produced the chemicals, the steel, the machinery that powered global manufacturing. Germany wasn't just Europe's largest economy. It was the engine that made the entire European project possible. When politicians talked about European unity, what they really meant was German economic strength subsidizing everyone else. Germany was the one country in the Eurozone that made the numbers work, the one economy productive enough, disciplined enough, and competitive enough to carry the weight of Southern Europe's debts while still growing. But that Germany is dying. Not slowly, not gradually, but at a speed that has shocked economists, terrified European policymakers, and sent German industry fleeing to the United States and China in a desperate search for survival. This isn't a temporary recession. This isn't a cyclical downturn. This is structural collapse, the dismantling of the industrial base that made Germany powerful. And it is happening because of 5 decisions, so catastrophically wrong, so economically suicidal, that future historians will study them as a case study in how advanced nations choose decline. This is the wealth records, where every video will change how you see money, history, and the systems controlling your life. If this is your first time here, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Because what's happening to Germany right now is a warning for every advanced economy on Earth. If you're in Germany or Europe, are you seeing this collapse happening around you? Drop a comment below. We want to hear from people living through this. To understand how Germany reached this point, you need to understand what Germany was, because Germany's economic model was unique. After World War II, West Germany rebuilt itself into an export powerhouse. It specialized in high-quality manufacturing, cars, machinery, chemicals, precision instruments, things the world needed and was willing to pay premium prices for. The German economic model had 3 pillars. First, a highly skilled industrial workforce. Germans didn't just work in factories. They trained for years in apprenticeship programs that produced the best machinists, engineers, and technicians in the world. Second, cheap and reliable energy. Germany imported Russian natural gas at prices far below what the rest of the world paid. That cheap energy powered energy-intensive industries like chemicals, steel, and manufacturing. Third, a stable currency that, before the euro, could be devalued when necessary to keep exports competitive. This model worked for decades. Germany became the world's 3rd largest exporter. Its trade surplus was the envy of Europe. Its products were synonymous with quality. Volkswagen, BMW, Mercedes, Siemens, BASF, Bosch. These were not just companies, they were symbols of German industrial strength. But over the last 15 years, all 3 pillars have been systematically destroyed. Not by external enemies, not by natural disasters, not by technological disruption, but by Germany's own government, through 5 decisions that have crippled the German economy and set it on a path toward irreversible decline. Fatal mistake. Number 1. The energy suicide. Germany's first and most catastrophic mistake was its decision to commit energy suicide, and it began with the best of intentions. After the Fukushima nuclear disaster in Japan in 2011, Germany's government, led by Angela Merkel, made a decision that stunned energy experts around the world. Germany would shut down all of its nuclear power plants, not gradually, not over decades, but within a decade. Nuclear energy, one of the cleanest, most reliable, and most efficient sources of baseload power, was abandoned. Germany would replace it with renewable energy, wind and solar. It sounded progressive, it sounded moral. It was economically insane, because wind and solar are intermittent. The sun doesn't always shine, the wind doesn't always blow. And Germany's industrial economy, one of the most energy-intensive in the world, cannot run on intermittent power. Factories need electricity 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Chemical plants cannot shut down when the wind stops. Steel production cannot pause when clouds cover the solar panels. Germany needed a backup, and that backup was Russian natural gas. By 2021, Germany was importing over 55% of its natural gas from Russia. Russian gas was cheap, it was reliable, and it flowed through pipelines directly into German industry. BASF, the world's largest chemical company, built its entire operations around access to cheap Russian gas. Every major German factory depended on it. The German economy had become a Russian gas economy. And then came the war in Ukraine. When Russia invaded Ukraine in February 2022, Europe faced a choice: continue importing Russian gas and indirectly fund the war, or cut off Russian energy and cripple European industry. Germany chose the latter. Russian gas supplies were sanctioned, Nord Stream pipelines were destroyed, and Germany's energy prices exploded. Natural gas prices in Germany rose to 5 to 10 times higher than prices in the United States. Electricity costs soared, and German industry, built on the foundation of cheap energy, became uncompetitive overnight. BASF, which had operated in Germany for over 150 years, announced it was cutting production in Germany and relocating operations to China and the United States. Why? Because energy costs in Germany were higher than the entire value of the products they were producing. It was cheaper to shut down German factories and move production to countries with affordable energy. The same story repeated across German industry: steel, fertilizers, chemicals, glass, cement. Every energy-intensive sector faced the same brutal math. Produce in Germany at a loss, or leave, and they left. Germany is now experiencing the fastest de-industrialization of any major economy since the collapse of the Soviet Union, and it was entirely self-inflicted. The decision to shut down nuclear power and become dependent on Russian gas was not forced on Germany. It was a choice driven by ideology, political pressure from the Green Party, and a refusal to accept the trade-offs that every energy policy requires. And German workers, German families, and the entire European economy are now paying the price. Fatal mistake number 2, the regulatory suffocation. Germany's second fatal mistake is regulatory suffocation. Over the past 2 decades, Germany has layered regulation upon regulation, making it nearly impossible to build anything, hire anyone, or operate a business without navigating a bureaucratic labyrinth that rivals anything the Soviet Union ever created. Want to build a factory in Germany? You will wait years for environmental permits. You will face challenges from Green Party activists. You will be required to conduct impact studies, submit to reviews, and satisfy regulatory requirements so extensive that most companies simply give up. Tesla's gigafactory near Berlin took years to approve. Endless delays, endless protests, endless bureaucracy. And Tesla is one of the most politically favored companies in the world. If Tesla struggles, imagine what a normal company faces. Germany's labor laws are even worse. Hiring a permanent employee in Germany is effectively a lifetime commitment. Firing that employee, even for poor performance, requires months of legal process, consultations with workers' councils, and often severance payments so generous that businesses avoid hiring in the first place. The result? German youth unemployment is higher than it should be for such a wealthy country. And businesses, rather than hire permanent workers, rely on temporary contracts, automation, or simply move operations to countries with more flexible labor markets. Environmental regulations have made industrial production nearly impossible. Germany requires emission standards so strict that operating heavy industry is often unprofitable. Chemical plants face restrictions that don't exist in China or the United States. Steel production is targeted by carbon taxes that make German steel uncompetitive against imports. Germany is regulating its own industries out of existence while importing the same products from countries with lower standards. The perverse result? Global emissions don't fall. They just shift to countries with dirtier production. But German factories close, German workers lose jobs, and German politicians congratulate themselves for meeting climate targets. Meanwhile, the United States, under the Inflation Reduction Act, is offering billions in subsidies to attract European industry. And it's working. Volkswagen is building electric vehicle plants in the United States. Northvolt, a Swedish battery manufacturer once hailed as Europe's answer to Asian dominance, is struggling in Europe, but expanding in North America. German companies are voting with their feet. They are leaving Germany for countries that actually want them. The regulatory state that Germany has built doesn't protect workers or the environment. It destroys the industries that employed those workers and provided the tax revenue to fund environmental programs. Germany has turned itself into a place where it is easier to shut down a business than to start one, easier to leave than to stay, and German industry is doing exactly that. Fatal mistake number 3, the demographic death spiral. Germany's third fatal mistake is one it shares with much of Europe. But Germany's version is particularly severe. Germany is running out of Germans. Germany's birth rate is 1.53 children per woman. To maintain a stable population, you need a fertility rate of 2.1. Germany is nowhere close, and the gap is widening. The result is a population that is aging rapidly and shrinking in absolute terms. By 2050, over 30% of Germans will be over the age of 65. The ratio of workers to retirees, which was once 5-1, is collapsing toward 2-1. And eventually, it will approach 1-1. One worker supporting one retiree. The math is devastating. Germany's pension system, like most European systems, is pay-as-you-go. Current workers pay for current retirees. It only works if there are enough workers to fund the retirees. But there aren't, and there won't be. Germany's workforce is shrinking every year. Fewer workers means less economic output, less tax revenue, less consumption, less innovation. An economy that depends on a growing, productive workforce cannot function when that workforce is disappearing. Immigration, the solution politicians often cite, has not worked the way they promised. Germany accepted over 1 million refugees and migrants in 2015 alone. The hope was that they would integrate into the workforce, pay taxes, and help support the aging population. But integration has been far more difficult than anticipated. Language barriers, skill mismatches, cultural differences. Many migrants lack the technical skills that German industry requires, and even those who do face labor laws so restrictive that businesses are hesitant to hire them. The result is that Germany now has both high immigration and rising fiscal burdens. The welfare state expands to support new arrivals, but the tax base doesn't grow proportionally. Germany is caught in a trap. It needs workers. But the workers it attracts often require more in social spending than they contribute in taxes. Meanwhile, Germany's most educated young people are leaving. German engineers, software developers, and entrepreneurs are moving to the United States, Switzerland, and other countries where taxes are lower, regulations are lighter, and opportunities are greater. Germany is experiencing a brain drain. The very people it needs to drive innovation and productivity are leaving for places that reward ambition instead of taxing it. The demographic death spiral is not a future problem. It is happening now. Every year, Germany's population gets older. Every year, the pension burden grows. Every year, the number of productive workers shrinks. And there is no policy solution on the table that changes this trajectory. Germany's demographic collapse is baked in for the next 30 years, and it will drag down everything else with it. Fatal mistake, number 4, the welfare state burden. Germany's fourth fatal mistake is the weight of its welfare state. Germany spends nearly 25% of its GDP on social welfare programs, pensions, healthcare, unemployment benefits, housing subsidies, parental leave, disability payments. These programs are generous, among the most generous in the world, and they are unsustainable. The problem is not that Germans don't work hard. They do. The problem is that the cost structure of employing a German worker has become so high that German companies cannot compete. When you hire a worker in Germany, you're not just paying their salary, you're paying social security contributions, health insurance, pension contributions, unemployment insurance, parental leave costs. The total cost of employing a German worker can be 50% higher than their actual salary. Compare that to the United States, where labor costs are lower and labor markets are more flexible. Or China, where costs are lower still. German manufacturers face a choice: pay German wages and German taxes and produce at a loss, or move production to countries where labor is cheaper and regulations are lighter. They are choosing to leave. The welfare state was built during an era when Germany's population was young and growing, when the economy was booming, when energy was cheap and exports were strong. That era is over, but the welfare state remains, and it is now eating the economy from the inside. Because the same workers who fund the welfare state are the ones losing their jobs as factories close. The same taxes that pay for generous benefits are the ones driving companies out of Germany. The welfare state has become a trap. It cannot be dismantled without massive political backlash, but it cannot be sustained without the industrial base that is currently collapsing. Germany is caught between two impossible choices: cut the welfare state and face social unrest, or maintain it and watch the economy die. Fatal mistake. Number 5, the political paralysis. Germany's fifth and perhaps most dangerous fatal mistake is political paralysis. Germany is governed by coalition governments, multiple parties, often with contradictory goals, forced to compromise to form a government. In theory, this creates stability and consensus. In practice, it creates gridlock. Germany's current government is a coalition of the Social Democrats, the Greens, and the Free Democrats. The Greens push for environmental restrictions that hurt industry. The Free Democrats push for fiscal responsibility. The Social Democrats push for welfare expansion. The result is a government that cannot make hard decisions, cannot cut spending, cannot reform labor laws, cannot prioritize economic growth over environmental ideology, cannot tell voters the uncomfortable truth that the current model is unsustainable. Every difficult decision is delayed. Every reform is watered down. Every crisis is met with temporary fixes rather than structural solutions. Meanwhile, the problems compound. Energy costs keep rising. Industry keeps leaving. The population keeps aging. The deficit keeps growing. And the political system remains locked in paralysis, incapable of the decisive action required to reverse the decline. Germany needs to choose. Does it want to remain an industrial power? Or does it want to be a green utopia? Does it want to compete with the United States and China? Or does it want to regulate itself into irrelevance? The current answer is that Germany wants both. And the result of trying to have both is that it is achieving neither. So here's the brutal truth about Germany. The Germany that rebuilt itself from the ashes of World War II. The Germany that became the industrial engine of Europe. The Germany that represented discipline, efficiency, and quality. That Germany is dying, killed by energy policy that prioritized ideology over reality, killed by regulations that make production impossible, killed by demographics that cannot be reversed, killed by a welfare state that cannot be funded, and killed by a political system too paralyzed to choose survival over comfort. This is not a temporary downturn. This is not a recession that will pass. This is the dismantling of the industrial base that made Germany powerful. And once that base is gone, it will not come back. Because factories that move to the United States or China do not return. Workers who emigrate do not come back. Industries that collapse do not rebuild themselves. Germany had choices. It chose badly. And the consequences of those choices are now irreversible. The rest of Europe should be terrified. Because if Germany, the strongest economy in Europe, cannot make this model work, what hope do France, Italy, or Spain have? Germany was the one country that could carry the euro, the one economy that could sustain the welfare state, the one industrial base that could compete globally. And Germany is failing. History doesn't repeat, but if you don't understand it, it will crush you all the same. Germany is learning that lesson right now, and the rest of the world should be paying very close attention. If this gave you a new perspective, hit subscribe. The Wealth Records. History has the answers. I'll show you where to look.